My name is Dave Bachman, and I've been making disciples for the last 25 years, primarily as a minister to college students and young professionals. When I was young, I was actually being intentionally discipled by an older man who was pouring into my life. And the time came when he eventually asked me to pray about discipling someone else. I have to tell you, my initial response to that was feeling quite anxious. Who was I to teach anyone else anything about following God when I had my own struggles? What would I even tell them if they were asking me questions that I didn't know the answer to? Who would I disciple? These were just things that immediately started rolling through my head, and I was nervous. Turns out I'm not alone. Recent Barna Group research suggests 5 top reasons why people do not engage in making disciples. The top reason is that they don't feel qualified or equipped to address hard topics. Number 2 is they don't feel they would be very good at it. Number 3, they don't feel like they know enough about the Bible or Christianity. Number 4, they don't feel like they know how to disciple someone. And lastly, discipling someone sounds like it's a job for a minister or church leaders. The man who was discipling me noticed right away that I was obviously feeling pretty tense after he challenged me or invited me to give my life away to others in the same way he was giving his life to me. And so he suggested this. He said, why don't we just pray about it when we get together? Pray about God showing you who is one person who you could intentionally disciple and pour your life into. That sounded more doable to me. And within just a few weeks, God answered our prayer and brought someone into my life, a younger Christian who I reconnected with actually, who was very curious about following God and wanted help on his faith journey. The purpose of this series on simple disciple making is to sort of take the mystery out of making disciples by presenting 7 scriptures with 7 pictures. My hope is that this series will give you a God-sized vision for your life, a basic understanding of what it means to make a disciple, and the confidence to go out and do it. Let's jump into it by first discussing the grand vision that God has for disciple making. And it goes all the way back to Abraham in Genesis 22, 17 through 18. It says this, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offspring, all nations on earth will be blessed, because you have obeyed me. This is the Abrahamic covenant, and it was given and reiterated multiple times to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and all of Israel. After the fall of mankind, God had in mind a vision of redemption that included taking one person, one man, Abraham, and blessing him, and then making him a blessing to others and multiplying his life. This redemption plan may have looked small and slow to start with just one person, but over time, this thing really gets big fast and grows one generation to the next to become a multitude that basically no one can count. Consider for a minute how this grand vision of multiplication that God was giving Abraham would be so tangible and before Abraham day and night, right? As he laid his head down at night to go to sleep, he would see the stars in the sky, a multitude. And it would encourage him that God was going to take this one person and make him many. And by day, he would sink his feet into the sand, and he would be reminded that God was going to do a mighty work through his single life. And why was it important for God to give Abraham a clear and tangible picture of the vision that he gave him in the Abrahamic covenant? Perhaps there are a million little distractions to believing this one promise and choosing to actively participate in it. God has a grand redemptive plan that he is working out in our world. And just like Abraham, we have been invited to participate in it. I hope you'll come along with me throughout this series as we learn just how to do that.